What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes news for September 2nd, 2023. Now, today, as you guys know, the past couple days, we've actually talked about the upcoming event next week, which is going to be the next Transcendence hero. And today, we have that preview of Therapist of Blood Betty. So that is a very, very interesting one. I don't know how to take it just yet. It kind of takes the whole. You remember how Betty kind of is like when you look at her game, she's like chained up and everything, and it's a little creepy. She gets out of the chain, she captures some person. It looks like a little forest hero or something like that. All that fun stuff. Well, this one takes it to the next level, and I've been told it looks a lot like a League of Legends hero as well. But I'm kind of hoping that this is going to be a mage that potentially can rival Jara, or maybe even better. We'll have to see, but today we get that first look. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Hit that subscribe button. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so this is the first look at the hero. Again, Therapist of Blood Betty. We're going to show you a better image here in the end. You'll see it in the thumbnail as well. I took a lot of time to trim this one out, so hopefully it looks really, really good, almost like perfect quality. The character's backstory states that she is chained to a chair, therefore the design is centered on her sitting and being bound, and finally depicts a chained and belt-bound seated figure. The character's body is not her own soul. Her body is loaded with Betty Jane. If you guys remember, Betty herself is actually not like, she's like the virus, the blood, so to speak, not the actual person that we see in game. Betty Jane blindfolded her and manipulated her thoughts. She doesn't need to do it all by herself. Betty Jane's bloody arms will help her clear all obstacles, and she and Betty Jane are one. So there's no pain on her face, just a happy smile, which is why I get these evil smile. I'm gonna go to this first because this is pretty much the full-blown image file that I could get. I try to trim it as good as I can. There's a couple imperfections around here, but overall I gotta say this hero looks really, really cool. Definitely one that is super unique. We haven't, I mean, it definitely felt a lot Scarlet Queen Halora-ish at first, because if you remember, they kind of have the same posture almost, because they're in a sitting position and all that, so it's something to keep in mind. But I mean, this hero looks really, really cool. We do have additional story, and we'll come back to this here in a little bit. So yeah, we get to see Betty here again in this top section right here. It says, in a remote and backward village, Betty Jane came to a simple and unpretentious shepherdess. The change of the shepherdess caught the attention of all the villagers. The villagers didn't know what had happened and thought it was a devil who caused this poor shepherdess to be taken away by the devil. Under the auspiciousness of the high priestess, I don't know if that's the correct word it's supposed to be. I think it is. The villagers performed the frightening blood therapy on the shepherdess. So I guess they're the ones maybe doing on this. I don't know. They tied her to a chair, cut her flesh, and drained her blood. They thought this would destroy her, the demon within. Unexpectedly, though, the blood donation therapy produced a wonderful chemical reaction in the form of Betty Jane, which completely inspired Betty Jane's darkness. So the blood turned into a sharp knife. The village was razed to the ground overnight, and Betty Jane is now also missing. Who will be the next Betty Jane? Because again, remember, this is pretty much talking about like a poisonous blood type virus type thing. So again, the picture, the people, the females we see here are not, I mean, anybody could be Betty Jane, which is kind of a cool idea. As far as the art design and concepts, according to the background of the story of her character, the character will be bound to a chair and centered around the posture and restraint, and finally presented sitting in an iron chair with a bound belt around her. That's down. Let's go back down here. This is pretty much what we're talking about on this section here. The character's body is not her own, since Betty Jane is installed in her body. Betty Jane has blindfolded her eyes and manipulated the thoughts of her captor, or of the captive. She doesn't need to do it by herself though, because Betty Jane's bloody arms will help her clear any obstacles she and Betty Jane become one, so there is no pain on her face but a happy smile. And yeah, that's where we get this. This is where it, like, so if you guys ever wonder where I get a lot of my prequel images, or not prequel, pre-images before like the official release and everything, I usually just take this image file right here and I take the time and I try to cut it out as good as possible. What do you guys think? I think it was pretty good. Wait, let me actually blow it up to similar size so it's like around there, and then you can take that and look at that. I think I did a pretty good job. So let's take a look. I like the coloring of her outfit too. The kind of the pinkish hues, the purple hues, all those things seem and look pretty good. Overall, yeah, she has like these armbands too. It looks like the material that her outfit is in, it's like almost like vampire-ish, but it's also kind of like the same material that you see on like straight jackets and stuff, which makes sense. She does have all these bindings here. I have no clue what these are supposed to do because they're not actually attached to anything from the looks of it. And then of course we have additional straps. We have the blood potentially maybe going in her. You can see the blood coming from here as well. There's another, I didn't even notice this other knife. So is that her hair? So her hair is essentially turning into arms, because that's, I think, where all these extra arms are coming from, which again is interesting. And she's literally sitting on her, like the chair is her hair. It goes from that white color to here. So that's interesting. The question is, what is she going to be like? Now, as you guys can see here, the original Betty, which is still Betty Jane technically, was shackled, and she has all these things on her. She takes other captives. She kind of seems to spread the blood around and all that. Very interesting hero. Overall, I thought she was going to be better than she was, but again, she didn't end up having any self-sustain, and you know how important self-sustain is in the early game when you only have one hero. If you don't have healing, you're probably going to lose. But she did bring to the table some twine effects, which makes me believe we're going to see our first special twine ability, because as you guys know, all these other Transcendence heroes have basically taken like the regular version, Petrify and Freeze, and they have a secondary version which is considered a different type of crowd control. And what I'm expecting here is see Betty have the first ever upgraded, more enhanced version of a twine ability, which hopefully is kind of cool. Honestly, most of her skills damage wise seemed like they would do good. She has some abilities to, you know, hit multiple targets, have chances to do twining, lower their energy, things like that. And her active skill was pretty cool with big damage numbers. Deals 640% attack damage to backline enemies. If the target's HP is no less than 50, it'll bleed them for extra damage. If their HP is lower, it'll do a huge burst of damage, 2000, with 100% chance to twine the target. Then afterwards, will deal additional damage to the twine target. So this sounds like if they take this type of hero and just enhance it in the Transcendence version, which I really hope they do, these damage numbers could be absolutely crazy. Because you kind of take a look at this here. We're doing 820%, 2400, 2000. Like, it's a ton of damage. And on top of that, she can also have the chance to twine the enemy. It just sounds like a really cool kit to have. So hopefully you guys enjoy this, and let me know what you guys think. We will definitely be building this hero and maybe have to hunt an A- copy if she's a damage dealer as well. See you guys next time.